This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Well, when your deceased loved one passes away, of course, you take them to a funeral home. And you either have them cremated, have them prepared for burial, and oftentimes there's a ceremony and there's moments where you're able to say goodbye. That's not always the case, though. Sometimes you don't want that ceremony. Sometimes the bodies are there and you trust people to do the job that you entrusted them and paid them to do. Not so much the case, though, with the Return to Nature funeral home in Colorado Springs, Colorado. They, on the other hand, decided stacking 190 bodies amongst the walls, the tables, the chairs, anywhere they could really fit a body. They did it over the course of quite a bit of time, suspectedly over COVID. How on earth 190 people even fit into this building is another question when you actually look at the size of it. But how something like this actually takes place is the bigger question. Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI Special Agent, is with us to discuss this. Yeah, that is the question. How does something like this happen? Is there just that much of a lack of oversight in this industry that something like this was allowed to transpire over the course of several years?
Well, I think you combine lack of oversight with the will of many people to make money at any cost, and to see that something like this would work, right? They marketed it, they got people to pay them, and they were able to carry on at least in 190 cases.
Yeah.
And make probably quite a bit of money. So if you don't have any moral integrity, unfortunately, people are able to get away with crimes like this.
With a crime like this, though, I mean, even if your goal is that let's make the money, why would you not dispose of the bodies? Why would you not cremate them so you could have more room for more bodies, I guess? What would be possibly a motive to keep 190 bodies in a building? Not only, obviously, it's insanely unsanitary, probably quite lethal, honestly, if you go into that building without proper hazmat equipment. Why? Why would one have an idea, a motive, a reason to do something like this?
Well, I think the motive is the dollar sign.
Yeah.
They would have to pay to have the bodies cremated. They would have to pay to have somebody dig a grave, to get a grave site. I guess what you're saying is, why didn't they at least take a bulldozer and make a mass grave outside and put them all in?
Something.
I think they were worried about possibly somebody noticing that, because you would still need your bulldozer or backhoe driver. I guess they could have dug them out. But I see this all combined with, number one, greed, number two, opportunity, and number three, laziness, where it was just easier to throw the bodies in there and hope that they would never get caught, thinking they would never get caught, and not to have any, to have 100% profit on the deal.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I get wanting the money, but I mean, to do something like this, are we talking about some people here? Because there's more than one person involved in this. We're probably talking about some very severe mental illness here, I would think, that would allow someone to do something so gruesome and interact day in and day out with a situation like this in their own business.
Tony, I always find it interesting, I think, because normal people like you, it's so hard to wrap your head around people that are this sick, right? To be sitting there with a bunch of dead bodies for a long period of time, not a bunch, 100 plus, yes. Almost 200 dead bodies in your place of business.
Like a prom. The prom of dead people.
It's the prom. It's so incomprehensible. Then we say, well, the people must have a mental illness of some kind to be able to do it. But I would say a lot of criminals that have behavior like this, they're just really empathetic and immoral and greedy. And I can't attribute it to any sort of mental illness because I think that's their controlling, those factors control their behavior, not a mental issue.
Yeah. I guess it really just shows there's no limit to where greed can take you.
Want to listen ad-free? Want advanced access to all of our interviews before anyone else?
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
You get every episode commercial-free.
So you can binge on true crime
Until you can binge no more.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts now, or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast next.